Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at the National Library of Medicine with developmental and reproductive toxicity of inorganic arsenic, animal studies, and human concerns. So, information on one reproductive and development toxicity of inorganic arsenic is available for the studies in animals using arsenite and arsenate salts and arsenic trioxide. Also, inorganic arsenic has been extensively studied as tetrarogen in animals. And data from animal studies demonstrate that arsenic can produce developmental toxicity, including malformation, death, growth, retardation, in 4 species: hamsters, mice, rats, and rabbits. A characteristic pattern of malformation is produced, and the developmental toxicity effects are dependent on dose, route, and the day of gestation when the exposure occurs. Also, studies with game and diet administration indicate that death and growth retardation are produced by oral arsenic exposure, and arsenic is readily transferred to the fetus and produces developmental toxicity in embryo culture. So we can see the studies here. We can also see that animals have not identified an effect on arsenic on the fertility in males or females. When females were dosed chronically for periods that included pregnancy, the primary effect on arsenic on reproduction was a dose-dependent increase in conceptive mortality and postnatal growth retardation. Human data are limited to few studies of populations exposed to arsenic from drinking water or working or living at near smelters. So fundamentally for animals, it depends on fertility how much they're exposed to. Also, associations with spontaneous abortion and stillbirth have been reported in more than one of these studies, but interpretation of these studies is complicated because study populations were exposed to multiple chemicals. So that is one thing to check. If it's in your water, if it's in your food, what were you exposed to? Was it just arsenic? Were there other heavy metals? And what was going on? Thus, animal studies suggest the environmental arsenic exposures are primarily a risk to the developing fetus. In order to understand the implications of humans, attention must be given to comparative pharmacokinetics and metabolism, likely exposure scenarios, possible mechanisms of action, and the potential role of arsenic as an essential nutrient. So, what is the verdict here? That arsenic, inorganic, can be a cause and a detrimental cause of issues with humans, especially in the reproductive area if it's too much. It can also affect animals negatively, and if it gets into contact with other parts of the body, can also cause issues. So we can see there's different ways to get exposed to arsenic. One is breathing it in, but the other is your water. And this comes from different things such as industrial actions or agricultural. So it's always a good idea to periodically test your water if you want to protect animals and humans equally from being exposed to it.